Hello, this is Randy Ripke. I'm the developer of TASbillerCloud. In this video, we're going to discuss how to implement some features that have been introduced over the past few months. Credit card decline notices that automatically go out when you do your batch processing. The balance forward cover letter, which goes out to your clients when you want to send them the balance forward view from the invoice payments tab in customer maintenance. The multiple invoice copy feature, which allows you to send a notice to your clients and lets them download their last 12 invoices or whatever it is they're looking for. And also a notice that you can send to your clients who have a zero balance, who can use a click now button and update their credit card or ACH information they might have on file. We're going to start with going into file maintenance and for company. And on the email invoicing tab, if your tab looks like this, if these three drop-down selectors right here are blank, you need to watch this video. If you have things populated here, then you've been paying attention, and thank you, but I can't tell you how many times I log into someone's system and see these things being unused. And these are some very nice features that will help you with collections and just make life a little bit easier for you. They're all very nice features. So to start with, we're going to go into a folder, a little button click on the main menu here that probably none of you ever venture into, the document storage and sharing folder. Now inside here, you're going to find a number of subfolders. The first one is documents. Now this is typically attachments that might go out with your invoice on billing day. So this is where you might drop in, like I have my terms and conditions in here. Some of you might put a newsletter in here, what have you. This is something you can attach during billing period processing to your invoices as they go out. The next folder down are your billing system import files. That's the billing data that came in from your switch, your StarTel, Amtelco, Telescan, what have you. The next one down is your mailing service files. These are files for those of you who are using, most of us are on online statements. So when you send them a file of invoices to print and mail, these are the zip files that are being sent, and we store them in the system for, I think it's about 3 or 4 months, just in case something happens. The reason we store these and make them available to you is sometimes the connection between us and online statements might drop, and this way you can choose the most recent zip file, download it yourself, and just manually email it to them. The next folder down are images. These are usually graphics that are used on your invoice templates or your notice templates. And lastly, we have the folder that no one ever goes into, is Randy's shared documents. Now, there's some subfolders in here we're going to get to in just a second, but there are also some individual files that you might find interesting. Call rounding, and there's also a PDF that discusses how to implement call rounding and the benefits of it. If you're interested in making money in the answering service business, you need to use call rounding. That was my secret for many, many years. It works great. It's a nice way to do a silent rate increase that clients will never notice or understand, and it works really well. If you haven't tried it, do it. If you notice on the terms and conditions pages, if you browse around the internet and find your competitors and look at their terms and conditions, I'll bet you money that 99% of them are rounding those calls. The last one here, or next one here, is a brochure on Daisy, which if you're a StarTel user with the StarTel's API, the Daisy phone app is a very nice tool. It also allows you to send out call detail reports with your invoice from within TASbillerCloud on billing day, and all you got to do is check a button. Randy likes to keep it simple. The last one here is the magic number calculator. I also have a video on this on the support page. And I sarcastically mentioned during our last phone video conference, if you're interested in making profit in this business, this is the spreadsheet to work on. This helps you calculate what your costs are per minute to have an agent working on a client's account. I can't tell you over the years how many people have contacted me saying, "Hey, Randy, how should I bill, or what do you charge, or how much do you get for this?" And I'll tell you, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. There must be 3 or 4 local competitors. not to mention all the ones that advertise in Jacksonville on the internet that say they're in Jacksonville, but they're not. And I've never known how much they charge, nor do I care how much they charge. It's totally irrelevant. I charge what I charge so I can pay my employees, pay my bills, and then make a profit. And the only way to do that is to know what your costs are. And this magic number calculator will help you do that. So I'll get off my soapbox now and go to these subfolders. Some other sample templates we have, this sample account pay template. This has the credits on the account pay. So if you're not using this currently, you might want to try and download that and implement it. I have a sample invoice template here for a really nice layout of a invoice that has a separate page for the master account and separate pages for the sub accounts with some different colors and different separations. It's kind of a neat template. If you design your own template that you want to share with me and share with everybody else in the cloud, I'll be happy to add it to here. Just let me know. Sample notice templates is where we're going to go next. This last one I want to talk about is a template related documents. So those of you, for the most part, are using online statements to mail your invoices automatically. These are the templates that are used to determine where the addresses need to line up on the invoice for the mailing address and the return to address. I see every so often I get an email from Danny at Online Statements where someone's gone in there and tinkered with the heading. Those headings have to be in a certain place so that the addresses show up in the window envelopes just right. So you can't just go in there and willy-nilly move things around. If you want to make some changes, it's best to download. I think I'm using this one right here with this Online Statements top address placement setup. This will give you the layout of where that return address needs to be and where the customer's address needs to be. So just be aware that this is in here. Now for you true IT people that want to get in there and delve into the template tables and how to work all the different buttons and what have you, this is the actual documentation from Telerik. That's the programming company we use to control those tables. And there's lots of powerful things that we can do with these tables. It is a little cryptic, but if you got a good IT person on your staff, I'm sure this will make perfect sense to them. Just be aware that this document is here. So let's go back into the sample notice templates. And the ones we're going to get today that you're probably missing are the multiple invoice copy template. And what I want you to do is double click on these, and that will cause it to download. And then we're going to get the sample balance forward cover letter, double click on that. And if you have your downloads folder open, you'll see these downloading while you're doing this. The credit card decline template and the other template, the last one for updating card information with no payment. So we're going to start now that we have these downloaded saved to our downloads folder on our computer. The next thing we're going to do is import them into TASbillerCloud. We are going to start with the credit card decline notice. Now this comes into play when you're doing your billing and you're about to process your batch credit card payments, and you notice that the option to send payment decline notices is grayed out. And the notice is telling you that, payment decline template has not been configured, which means you haven't selected a template to send out as the decline notice. Now the way to fix this is to go into File Maintenance and Templates. And we scroll down to the notice templates, and you should be seeing at least these three. These are the three default that I always set up for everybody. The friendly reminder, I'm hoping you're sending these out. I sent mine out 1 week before billing. They work great. They list all of the unpaid invoices a client may have. There's a pay now button so they can pay on the notice. If they need a copy of the invoice, they can download it, from the payment web page. It's a very nice tool. The other one is the disconnect notice. This is the one that you send out to clients that haven't paid for a couple of months, and the best time to send it out is 3 o'clock on Friday and turn off their account. And you will know very quickly whether or not they're serious about paying you or not. So don't be afraid to use this. It works great. Lastly, there's an important notice that's just a blank notice. And this is designed for you to use as a template create whatever other notice you might need. And one handy notice to have is some kind of a disaster notification. And things happen in our industry. The phone lines go out, power goes out, the equipment hiccups, something happens. And it's nice to have something that's ready to go, where you can just kind of fill in the blank, insert disaster here, and send it out. So you're not having to try to learn how to create a template to notify your clients of the hurricane that went through, while the hurricane is going through. So get those set up ahead of time and have them ready to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to import that credit card decline notice, and we're going to select it from our downloads folder where we left it, right? And it is the credit card declined. So we open that up and process the import. And now it shows up right here. Now notice it has the title sample, and it shows that it was an import file. So the first thing we're going to do is edit this, and we're going to change the name real quick. We're going to take out this sample topic and take out the import. Okay, so we got that cleaned up. Everything else should look good. What I would then suggest doing is editing the header to at least insert your company logo. And it usually has the name along with it. And insert that. One comment on these graphics: when you load these in, you should have them. Notice I had several different sizes of this logo template here. It's best to have them pre-sized to fit nicely. You really don't want to be grabbing these handles. I know you can grab these and shrink them and expand them, but different graphics have what they call a native size. And sometimes when you're emailing to different types of email accounts, the graphics will revert to their native size, which might be huge, and it might make your pretty letter look not so pretty. So just be careful about that. Have them pre-sized, so when you insert them, you don't have to change the size. They're ready to go. Now remember, when you make changes here, to go back to the design view and then save your template. And now we're ready to go. So if we go back into billing and go into that billing period and batch payments, and I'm going to reset this. Why didn't it work? Oh, we missed one step. We need to go into file maintenance first, and the company setup and email invoicing, and we got to choose the template for our payment declines, and that's going to be our credit card decline notice. And we save that. So now when we go back into billing and batch payments, now the checkbox is there and it's already checked. It's ready to go. So I'm going to not send all these past due ones so I don't get deluged. And I believe both of these should fail. Let's see what happens. And they were both declined. So now I'm going to check in my email folder, and I should have 2 decline notices, which I'm going to share with you shortly. And now we're ready to go as far as payment decline notices. Okay, now that we have our credit card decline notices working, we're going to update our balance forward cover letters, multiple invoice copy notices, and the notice to update credit card or ACH information. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly because it's basically a repeat of the same thing we just did. So we're going to go into the templates folder and scroll down to notices, and we're going to import a notice template. And we're going to select, and the first one we're going to select is the balance forward template. And we're going to import that one. Then we're going to import the multiple invoice copy. And lastly, the update card information. So we have all of these here. Let's start with this one. Let's take out the sample wording. So this is update card info without card payment due. We're going to save that. We're going to go into the header. We're going to load our logo. And we like that small one. Looks good. Save, close. The next one is going to be the balance forward cover letter. Again, let's get rid of the sample verbiage on here and the import. And we're going to go into the header and load our logo. And we're done. And lastly is the multiple invoice copy. Let's just get rid of the import word. Go to our header, grab our logo, save, and we are done. We are ready to go. Now, what's the next key step to do? Go into File Maintenance on Company Setup. And on the Email Invoicing tab, we can now choose our default balance forward email template, which is right here, and our multiple invoice copy template right there. And save that. So now we're ready to go here. Now, where these come into play is in customer maintenance. Say this customer calls and says, and this comes in really handy when you have especially customers that pay odd amounts or don't pay on time or they skip a payment, all that kind of stuff. This balance forward view is just such a handy reconciliation. It's chronological. It shows every invoice, every payment. And what I do is we're just going to send this to the client. And I already have our template selected. And we're going to send it off. And now that client receives an email that has a spreadsheet attached to it that shows every payment and every charge. And the thing to do is send it to the client and say, hey, here are all the charges, by date. Here are all the payments that we've received by date. If we're missing a payment, let me know and I'll research it. But otherwise, the balance due is the balance due. And this is a great tool that clients can understand because it's all in date sequence with a running balance and very nice presentation. So I think you'll enjoy using that one. The next one is the client that calls and needs a copy of all of last year's invoices. So if you go into this invoice payments tab and pretend like you're going to send, one invoice, but there's a tab that's new here that says send multiple invoices. So again, our template's already been selected. You can plug in a date range, and let me just see if I can find, this is all demo data, I apologize, but let's see if we can find some invoices here. You have to go back a while. Okay, and it's showing you a preview of what the client's going to see. So here are the invoices that are going to show up on the notice that the client receives. Now, if you want to, you can not send them certain ones. Like say you don't want to send them this last one right here for whatever reason. You can unselect that one and say apply selected. And now that one that you turned off is no longer listed. So when you have this looking the way you want it to, you can also put a comment in here that says, here are the requested invoices. Click the download button. And you can include some of this verbiage on the template if you want to tweak your template. And once it's ready to go, just hit email and oops, off it goes. And I'll show you some samples of these when they come through in just a moment. And then the last one is the one for updating credit card information. So this is the case where someone's card expired, they just noticed it, they're calling you, they're wanting to update the card information, or their card got compromised, they want to give you a different card to use. So all you do is go into the utilities menu for notices, hit the distribution tab, plug in their account number, choose the update card info template, find that customer and email it, and off it goes. And I'll show you copies of all of these or samples of all these shortly. Must be a lot of you doing billing today. There it goes. All right. That concludes the video. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me an email or give me a call. Thank you again. I appreciate your business and have a great week.